External Affairs Minister S. Jaishankar has told India's Quad allies New Delhi will once again strike terror headquarters deep inside Pakistan if there is any attack in Kashmir by Pakistan-based terror groups. What's more, the Quad has backed India's right to self-defense and backed action against the Pahalgam terror attack masterminds sitting inside Pakistan. The joint statement stated, quote, "We call for the perpetrators, organizers and financiers of this reprehensible act to be brought to justice without any delay and urge all UN member states, in accordance with their obligations under international law and relevant UNSCRs, to cooperate actively with all relevant authorities in this regard," unquote. In the shadow of April's Pahalgam massacre that claimed 26 innocent lives, mostly Hindus in Jammu and Kashmir, S. Jaishankar also made a bold stand condemning the attack during the Quad summit held at the US Department of State. The Quad meeting, hosted by US Secretary of State Marco Rubio, was attended by Japan's Minister of Foreign Affairs Takeshi Iwaya and Australian Foreign Minister Penny Wong, who together backed India's stance on counter-terror operations. The statement added, "We condemn in the strongest terms the terror attack in Pahalgam, Jammu and Kashmir on the 22nd of April 2025, which claimed the lives of 25 Indian nationals and one Nepali citizen while injuring several others," unquote. The Quad statement must be a wake-up call for Islamabad. India has the global support against Pakistan's state-sponsored terror policies. The leaders added, the Quad unequivocally condemns all acts of terror and violent extremism in all its forms and manifestations, including cross-border terror, and renews our commitment to counter-terror cooperation, unquote.
The world must display zero tolerance.
Speaking to the press before the official Quad session, S. Jaishankar emphasized on India's zero-tolerance policy against Pakistan's state-sponsored cross-border terror. The External Affairs Minister declared, "The world must display zero tolerance. Victims and perpetrators must never be equated. India has every right to defend its people against terror, and we will exercise that right. We expect our Quad partners to understand and appreciate that." With Operation Sindoor, India has refined its military doctrine. Acts of terror will invite a military retaliation, and Pakistan's nuclear blackmail will just not work against Bharat. In a conversation with Newsweek, Jaishankar reiterated, "We are not going to fall for that. If he's going to come and do things, we are going to go there and also hit the people who did this. So no yielding to nuclear blackmail, no impunity to terror groups, no more free passes that they are proxies, and we will do what we have to do to defend our people," unquote. Beyond the Quad meeting, Jaishankar's US visit also included bilateral meetings with FBI Director Kash Patel in Washington, D.C. on Wednesday. The Ministry of External Affairs expressed appreciation for cooperation between India and the US in matters of countering organized crime, counter-terror, and trafficking. In a post on X, Jaishankar stated, "Great to meet FBI Director Kash today. Appreciate our strong cooperation in countering organized crime, drug trafficking, and terror," unquote. Earlier, Jaishankar met with US Director of National Intelligence Tulsi Gabbard on issues of global interest. Jaishankar posted, "Delighted to meet US DNI Tulsi Gabbard in Washington, D.C. this afternoon. A good exchange on global situation and our bilateral cooperation." On Tuesday, Jaishankar also held a meeting with US Energy Secretary Chris Wright in Washington as India leads global effort to transition to green energy sources. In a post on X, Jaishankar stated, "A useful conversation with US Energy Secretary Wright in Washington, D.C. this evening. Spoke about energy transformation underway in India and opportunities for a deeper India-US energy partnership." But Jaishankar's most significant meeting was with his counterpart, US State Secretary Marco Rubio, on the sidelines of the Quad Foreign Ministers meeting in Washington. The EAM elaborated, A pleasure meeting with US Secretary Rubio this afternoon on the sidelines of the Quad Foreign Ministers meeting discussed our bilateral partnership, including trade, security, critical technologies, connectivity, energy and mobility, shared perspectives on regional and global developments, unquote. Jaishankar during the summit emphasized that Quad is not just a security alliance but also a deeper convergence of values and capacities between fellow democratic nations. He stressed bilateral dialogue in maritime initiatives, logistics, education and political coordination, and stated India's intent to host the next Quad Leaders Summit later this year. Australian Foreign Minister Penny Wong highlighted the matter of unity in Quad, noting regional instability made it all the more important for nations to harness our collective strengths for peace, stability, and prosperity. Japan's Takeshi Iwaya added, "The fact that the four foreign ministers are once again gathering here in Washington demonstrates the strength of unity, peace, and stability of the Indo-Pacific region are essential," unquote. Secretary Rubio praised the alignment of Quad's efforts, citing diversification of critical mineral supply chains as a significant outcome. Quad allies will launch a critical minerals initiative to end reliance on the unpredictable and undependable Chinese supply chains and Beijing's weaponization of trade. Now, Quad remains united against Chinese expansionist ambitions in the Indo-Pacific, with Chinese military frictions with Taiwan and the Philippines threatening to spiral into a larger conflict. The Japanese foreign minister added, "Currently, there is turmoil in the Middle East and Europe. The Indo-Pacific region, where all four countries are located, is the engine of global economy, accounting for more than half of the world's population. The peace and stability of the Indo-Pacific region are essential for the prosperity of the international community. The four countries in this region have an important role in ensuring peace and stability in the Indo-Pacific region," unquote. New developments are also taking shape in US-India defense ties. A Pentagon spokesperson revealed that India and the US recently agreed to a new 10-year defense partnership framework. Now, this will be finally sealed when Defense Minister Rajnath Singh and his US counterpart Pete Hegseth meet later this year. A senior US defense spokesperson, Colonel Chris Devine, said in a statement that this deal was decided in a phone conversation between Rajnath Singh and Hegseth this week. The colonel added, "On the 1st of July, Secretary of Defense Pete Hegseth spoke with India's Minister of Defense Rajnath Singh. Secretary Hegseth emphasized the priority the United States places on India as its key defense partner in South Asia. Secretary Hegseth and Minister Singh reviewed the considerable progress both the countries have made towards achieving the defense goals set out in February 2025 joint statement by President Trump and Prime Minister Modi. The two discussed pending major US defense sales to India and the imperative of close defense industrial cooperation between both the nations," unquote. Hegseth also met External Affairs Minister S. Jaishankar at the Pentagon on Tuesday. The discussion was on strengthening India-US defense partnership and close cooperation embodied in the February 2025 joint statement. Speaking on the India-US defense cooperation, Hegseth stated, "Noting mutual concerns about the danger of aggression in Asia-Pacific region, the two reviewed pending major defense sales, the forthcoming signing of the next 10-year defense framework, and progress on advancing technology policy reviews." Secretary Hegseth and Minister Jaishankar welcomed the next Indus-X Summit, a bilateral defense tech forum, and the accompanying launch of the Autonomous Systems Industry Alliance, unquote. According to the US Department of Defense, Trump and Modi have set a strong foundation for our relationship, which we are building on here today. Productive, pragmatic, and realistic. This Quad meeting was a reaffirmation of the shared commitment to an open, free, and secure Indo-Pacific. It also makes an impact in underlining India's strong stance on counter-terror operations and comes as a warning to Pakistan that India's allies are standing shoulder to shoulder. But what do you believe? Will Pakistan ever abandon its state-sponsored terror? Or will India need to conduct Operation Sindoor Part 2? Leave a comment with your opinion, hit the like button and subscribe to Inconnect News.